so much. I'm sure that's good news for our viewer. Our second question, Attorney Golan, is this. This lady met her current boyfriend virtually, which is very common now, and had been communicating online ever since. Now, she says that the boyfriend wants to petition and file a petition for her on a fiancé visa, but they have not met personally because of the health situation here, she says, due to the pandemic. She also says he was suggesting that they marry virtually. I don't know whether that's something done. That's something interesting that maybe Attorney Golan can explain. And then if they marry virtually, and then husband then can file a petition as a husband, what's the best thing to do?
Well, look, this lady lives in a virtual world. And if they met virtually and they will marry virtually,
yes,
maybe she will also get a virtual green card.
Because nowadays,
but in the real world,
yes,
people who met virtually cannot get a fiancé visa.
Oh,
because there must be a personal meeting at least once during the 2 years prior to filing the petition. And immigration does not recognize virtual marriages. So this whole thing is not possible, not feasible. Her boyfriend must put his life at risk and take a trip to meet with her and maybe even marry with her, and then come back and file the petition.
Wow. So even though everybody's just doing Zoom meetings and virtual communication, that's still not allowed. A personal meeting is required, Attorney Golan, for a fiancé visa.
Yes.
Well, so that's the answer to the question. And
no, it doesn't have to be in the country where this lady lives.
Okay.
They can meet in a third country. Okay, they can meet in a third country. For example, if she lives in the Philippines and this boyfriend lives in the United States, and for one reason or another he doesn't want to go to the Philippines, they can meet in some third country, like in Singapore, if they wish.
I see.
Okay, in a place that he may consider safer and healthier.
Now, Attorney Golan, is there a time frame, meaning to say, is there a time or how long they should be meeting, how long they'll be communicating together personally? Is that something required, the duration of their meeting?
Well, it needs to be long enough and to convince the immigration service that this is for a real. Okay. I don't suggest that they meet in the transfer lounge at the airport for 15 minutes, and this will not be considered a satisfactory meeting.
So, Attorney Golan, if they, suddenly decide to marry in another country, will that be an easier way of filing a petition for her since they are married?
If the marriage is legal in the place where they marry, yes.
I see.
Yes.
Yes,
so
that's
absolutely
another option. So will that process be faster, Attorney Golan, compared to applying for a fiancé visa? Which one do you think will be a faster way?
Based on an actual marriage, will probably be faster and easier and more satisfying.
I see. Well, somehow she has many options. That's wonderful, Attorney Golan. That's why it always pays to talk to an immigration expert, because things that you normally would not think can really happen, and because they know the law. That's Attorney Jai Golan. He has said over 50 years of experience in immigration law. And you can call him for a free consultation, I think, wherever you are in any country in the world, because we receive emails from different people from all over the world, and we don't really ask them which country to make sure that They're treated confidentially. Attorney Golan, our next question is, this is very touching. My mother told me just before she passed away, our condolences, that my biological father is an American. Do you think the U.S. Embassy can help me? And what are the chances of me being petitioned by my dad? I am single.
Look, this may be a very touching situation, but
yes.
Unless this person finds his biological father, and unless the biological father cooperates with him by providing all kinds of documents, then there is no chance for this case to go ahead.
Wow.
Okay, this is just the American consul cannot help him with anything unless he is able to identify and find his biological father and get cooperation from the biological father.
Wow. What documentation would be required of him, Attorney Golan?
First of all, the first set of documentation would be documents to prove parenthood. Okay, because I assume from this story, from the fact, that the birth certificate in the Philippines does not name this person as a father. So it will be necessary to prove parenthood. This is number one.
And in what way, Attorney Golan? How? Pictures, perhaps?
Probably, I don't know about pictures, and maybe also DNA tests.
I see, yes.
Okay, so the first link in this chain must be a proof of parenthood.
Yes.
And the second link will be to prove that this American citizen meets the requirements for conferring citizenship on a child that was born out of a marriage in a foreign country.
Yes.
Those are some stringent requirements that change from time to time and depend on the date of birth of this person. So unless he finds this hypothetical father and gets his cooperation, then nothing can be done here.
I see. Wow. In the past many years of dealing with immigration, Attorney Golan, have you had any similar situation that had been successful?
Yes. Provided that there is connection with the biological parent.
Yes.
And there is cooperation. We need connection and cooperation.
It can become very